here is the president of Pfizer talking about something that until this moment, if you were to say it, people would say you're a nut, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're paranoid. Namely, that there will be a chip implanted in your vaccine. If you were to say that, that's actually literally one of the things described on the YouTube list of things you can't say. They specifically say that if you make a video claiming there's a microchip in a vaccine, you will have your channel shut down. Well, here's the president of Pfizer saying he's going to do that.
It is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
I don't know, does that YouTube video get taken down? There's scary people who work for the World Economic Forum year-round. Obviously, Xi Jinping and George Soros and Bourla of Pfizer don't. But here's someone named Yuval Noah Harari, and he's sort of the deep thinker of the World Economic Forum, and he talks a lot about hacking people, transhumanism, where you basically plug into someone's brain and body and can manipulate them. He calls it hacking people. Listen to this guy for a bit.
Regimes, but also by democratic governments. The US, for example, is building a global surveillance system, while my home country of Israel is trying to build a total surveillance regime in the West Bank. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
He really is like the mini-me to Klaus Schwab. Who's Klaus Schwab? Well, here's a little trailer we made for a docu-series that we're rolling out tonight. Watch a little bit about this. Klaus Schwab is the star of this.
The effect will be much similar to World War, and actually all countries in the world are affected.
We can reshape the world in ways we couldn't before, ways that better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for a great reset.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's a phrase you've probably heard over the last couple of years. But what exactly does it mean?
He really does come across as a Bond supervillain. Like, it really is too much, isn't it? But these are the people who say you will own nothing and be happy. They're the ones who say eat the bugs, eat meat made by a machine. They really do say this. So that's the World Economic Forum going on in Davos. A train ride away is the World Health Assembly. That's the World Health Organization of the United Nations. It's one of their major agencies. They've got a treaty that they're debating. Have you read about that treaty in the Globe and Mail, the Toronto Star, in your local daily newspaper, on the CBC TV? It really is a treaty. Here, you can see it here. This is from the World Health Organization's website. Why aren't they talking about it? Who's going to cover that? Do you think the media I've just listed are going to cover that? Why? They're all on the take for Justin Trudeau. They're not going to do anything that will embarrass him. We will cover it like we have covered the United Nations in the past. What's so interesting is the media, who like to say they speak truth to power, like to envisage themselves as some sort of official opposition, they have ceased taking that role. They stopped when the pandemic began. They don't hold the government to account. We do, even when we're banned from going to events. Like I say, the World Health Organization is part of the UN. I want to show you how our own Sheila Gunn-Reid did journalism from UN events, talking about things that you're not supposed to talk about. Here she is at Marrakesh. Just take a look at this.
The COP22 UN Climate Conference is underway, and myself and the rest of the Rebel team are just settling in here to Marrakesh, Morocco, to bring you a week full of coverage that you know you won't see or hear anywhere else in the mainstream media. And even though we aren't even inside the conference center yet, we are already hard at work. Now, everywhere in the city are these massive signs and banners proclaiming the presence of COP22. And these signs, well, they're obviously headed for the trash after this conference wraps up in just a week. It's just a big, fancy, disposable show for the world that goes in the garbage can when all the rich elites go back to wherever they came from. And all day there were rich people in nice cars, SUVs actually, coming and going from the conference center site. And the conference center site itself is, well, it's completely astroturfed. In the middle of this old world city with North African architecture is this big, fake, plastic tarped complex manned by UN guards. And completely unironically, the conference center itself is directly under the flight path to the airport. The globalist elites, well, they're going to have a hard time ignoring that fossil fuels are the reason that they got here, and fossil fuels will be the reason that they get home, with that constant reminder overhead. But rest assured, we know these elites well. These climate conferences are generally held in warm climates or luxurious places that you'd want to travel to. Last year it was Paris. They've been held recently in Lima, Peru, Durban, South Africa, and even Cancun, Mexico. They never hold these fancy shindigs in places like Red Deer, Alberta, or Timmins, Ontario, or Hay River, Northwest Territories. Those are the places where real people will pay the price for the policies being written here by people they didn't elect this week. We've only been here a few hours, but something just seems so fake about all of this. The fake parking lot for the SUVs, the fake signs all over town, the fake buildings behind a big fake wall. It feels as fake as the real motivations for this conference. Fake as in, these elites will tell you that they care about climate change, but what they really care about is control over you. Now, we're going to show you the fossil-fueled hypocrisy of this conference and the deep pockets behind all the delegates and all the activists here on the ground. And we want to show you the real Marrakesh, the regular, everyday people who are living in the shadow of this opulent conference of globalist overlords that's taking over their city for the next week. Now, we fought hard at the Rebel against UN censorship to get our team here. And one of our team members, our producer, Megan McSween, well, she's still not accredited for the conference. But that isn't going to stop us. It won't stop us. We've figured out a way here on the ground to work together, but still be apart. We're going to show you what really happens at these UN climate conferences, not what they want you to see. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
Oh, I love that. That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called the Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.